Hello everyone and welcome back to All Indie. Today we're playing some more Monsters Insight, and if you just finished up part 1, you probably know that when I originally recorded this video, I recorded like 45 minutes of a Monsters Insight. So this is part 2. Click on the words of the stat to reset that stat to 0. Stat points will be transferred to your overall pool, which can be spent elsewhere. Oh, interesting. Okay. I think we already have one charisma. I don't know that I necessarily want to be trustworthy. I kind of want to deceive these people, I'm not going to lie. So let's do Supreme in Charisma. Why not? And that way, and we have one in Perception. I think we're good. You read the papers. There are headlines of Jackrabbit and the Missing Minds of Lucenscape. Good. Now you'll have a choice to make. Either you can go digging for some information regarding Fernweh, or you can gain more points to boost your stats. Ooh, on this evening, you decide to... I think since this is the beginning, let's go for information. As prep for the dialogue, I usually search for information regarding the interlocutor, who in this case will be Fernweh. It's always better to stay one step ahead of your opponent, and that means knowing more about them than they know about you. There isn't much time until the dialogue starts, so I should choose carefully where I go get my information. There's Goblin near the Malduvian River who's obsessed with studying greater terrors, or there is a Gnarg Kichi. Oh, there is a Gnarg Kichi knows that runs a bar, and I'm guessing he hears a bunch of things from different folks. Let's go with the Goblin. Better to trust the experts with this one. That's right. A trek later, I'm at the Malduvian River. I don't know, this one does not like to record well. Either way, I'm at the Malduvian River. Normally it's a dangerous place where predators tear apart their prey, but because of the time there's not much of a need to be cautious, I think. I meet up with Goblin. We've done an exchange like this before, but not enough times where she's supposed to expect me. Under the guise of wanting to study great terrors, she reveals to me a few things of Fernweh. I learnt that the chasm is for those who have lost their way. The chasm itself is home to something Hobbin Goblin doesn't know. That reduces you to nothing. Soul. Once your soul has been extracted by the chasm, Fernweh uses this to nurture the chasm and let it grow. Any remaining debris looks like fractured, glass-like shapes floating astray. Good talk. Your preparation time for the dialogue is up. Now, the Silver-Tongued will attempt to win the favor of the interlocutor. Fernweh of the Lost. Almost instantaneously, I feel my body collapse into the floor, and soon after I was dragged to the center or the core of this plane. In that moment, I wasn't falling down, but instead I was flying down. As the seconds passed, my home seemed more of a memory. And then a stranger. Everything was spinning in motion, yet I felt strangely unfazed. I knew what to expect from great cosmic terrors. The fall felt never-ending. The impact was going to be severe. But I never really hit the ground. A few minutes pass as you try to recuperate from the fall. It takes me a few seconds before I could fully comprehend what had just happened. The humidity is almost suffocating. And if you look long enough, the glass shards and walls look back at you. Interesting. The air, frigid and moist, should give a clear sensation, yet my body feels weak and light, almost as if I don't exist. I see Fernweh form itself around me. It wasn't like a figure coming closer from the distance. It's more as if they were already here, waiting for me, and chose to reveal themselves now. Their figure staggers above mine, yet their ethereal form and lifeless eyeballs make them seem less threatening.
Greetings, silver-tongued. I was told that you have come into my chasm.
My greetings. At this phase of the dialogue, this is where you make your first impression and where you dictate the tone of the conversation. Well, I'm not gonna say this one because it does seem like it is. I already know this. Who told you I was coming? How about just how did you know I was the silver-tongued? Good to see you asking questions, but there's no point to it at all. Well, it would be to my benefit.
Why is that?
I don't have a comeback yet. Best I drop the subject and move on. Anyways, I wanted to
ask what brought you here.
Well, does that even matter? Do you know what a siphon is?
No, please explain.
It's a being that... Is there any way I can put this nicely? Needs the help of others to survive.
Haha, is that another word to say parasite?
Kichi would be fuming if it was here. No. The siphon is not attached to the host. It just needs... a deal. Yes, a deal to progress. What deal do you speak of? One that is mutually beneficial for both parties. They turn their back against me and start to float. What's the point? Well, you could gain something out of it. I'm not talking about stupid siphons. I mean the point of it all. I shouldn't try to say anything now. The best I can do is let them talk. Ooh, strategy. Based on their general ambivalence and disinterest in me, it doesn't look like charisma is going to help a lot. You know, I've been thinking of a lot of things. Yes, I've been thinking a lot about what there is and what there isn't. I'm just gonna let him talk. And at first I started to doubt how we can justify anything. Based on our understanding, everything seems too feeble, and it can all collapse in an instance. You ask to justify something, and it keeps on going on, leading to a never-ending chain of reasoning until you admit defeat. But then there's also one other thing. Perhaps they felt they said too much. Interesting. If I remember correctly, this feels similar to Agrippine skepticism. Ah yes, the classic skeptic. It seems so obvious now. But this is all irrelevant talk. I don't think it's appropriate for me to discuss these things with you. What I need is an answer relating to why you're here. Well, I told you that. Not how you got here, or what you want to speak with me about, as in why are you here? I'm sorry. Only those who have fallen astray land in the chasm. I know that you tried to enter against the wishes of this place, which seems incredibly bizarre because I haven't seen such an entry in a while. You're either here because you deserve to be, or you have breached an access point which should be illegal. Ooh, I need to think fast and know what they're talking about. People come to the chasm if they're lost. So that means I was probably called here because I was lost too. I've lost any reason to care. Because I won't be able to truly understand anything. Ah, so you're lost too. Ooh! Just like the rest of us? Who is the rest of us? Why, the other souls... Oh, I skipped that one a little too quickly. I call them to this sacred place so they can be forgotten. But why would anyone want to be forgotten? It's not that they don't want to be forgotten. Simply put, they don't want anything. Do you? In fact, I think this could be quite a good sign. No one has lasted as long as you. I thought you would be gone by now. How quaint. Ooh, they make several soft giggling noises. That's interesting. A sincerity in their smile. They've been craving, for company for quite some time. It's a bit eerie and unsettling. But in your last, final moments, I will tell you this, that everything you will say will be irrelevant. You will disassemble and you lose yourself to the chasm like everyone else. No matter how hard you try, little silver-tongued, you will be in the place where you're meant to be. I was told that I was meant to die far too many times to take this talk seriously. Even though this discussion has me at the center, I need to refocus back to Fernweh. I can either let myself continue to be the center and through this reveal what Fernweh has to offer, or I can completely shift the focus of the conversation away from me. And where is that? Fernweh begins to turn inward.
Within the chasm, forever.
And who decided that? Someone long before me. Pray tell, who is this enigma? Well, of course it was... No! Oh, they dissolve into the air and then reappear again? Ooh, they're deceiving you. Someone long before your time. I could guess that, but who specifically? Does it matter? But there is no need to control what is essentially nature itself. It's the only thing that feels real, but makes everything else, including myself, feel so insignificant. Does that mean you think of me as fake? Forms a grin and mist escapes through the gaping holes. Ugh. Yeah. Haha. I'm sorry? What? Something that cannot exist, a figment of their imagination? Something in their mind? Are you kidding me? How on earth am I supposed to win Fernweh's favor if they think I'm fake? That I don't exist? Ooh, you can try to convince Fernweh you exist, but you'll need a strong case and you need them to trust you. Or you can break down their walls. Find a weakness, but you'll need a strong conviction. So, how come I'm talking to you? Why, it's simple. There's either two possibilities. Ooh, they're telling the truth. One, my monad is being supplied with nutrients inside a machine meant to simulate reality, which includes you to be a part of the reality. But I'm nothing more than just a bunch of nuts and bolts meant to resemble a person. Ooh, nods their head. Still telling the truth? Okay. Or two, there is some malevolent demon who attempts to deceive me in believing in a non-existent world. He conjures up locations, people, and such with his incomprehensible powers solely for deceit. Wow, talk about being self-centered or being I didn't catch that word. Must take an awful lot of brain power to be this self-deluded. So I'm either working for a devil or I'm an artificial simulation. I wish I could say, oh, I didn't mean to insult you. Of course I don't think that. But I honestly don't care. Interesting. Guess I have to find some way to convince them to care about the siphon. Or maybe I could use this to my advantage. But first, if this is the place I'm meant to be in, then I should get to know it. Fernweh, could I ask you as to how the chasm works? It isn't complicated. You already know the lost souls come to this place, often when they doubt their reality, doubt their purpose, or doubt even existing. That's when I take over. The chasm does the work itself of converting the lost souls into energy. I'm going to let them keep talking, and it lets the chasm continue to thrive off of the nutrients of lost souls. So, if nobody were lost, would the chasm cease to exist? Foolish bile. Nobody is free from me or free from the chasm. Everyone will come here, because there isn't a single being that's sure of themselves. Well, I'd like to think that I'm holding myself pretty well together. You'd be surprised as to how weak and fallible you are once staring into the gaping maw. And the maw is the opening pores where the chasm breathes and consumes. This place is starting to sound more like an actual person versus a static location. But if you aren't here, then what would happen? People would still come to the chasm. They would just have to find the way themselves. Almost everyone goes through me first before I see them here. Except for you. I didn't anticipate that you would be here, which is quite strange, but you'd be taken care of in a much more interesting way. I don't like the sound of that. Because if you aren't lost and somehow got in, that means that the chasm called you, not me. And why the lower you go down the chasm and closer into the earth, the more lost you are. There are different layers to this place. First is for those with simple doubts. They may not even disappear and simply wander back. Second are those who fully acknowledge that they can't know anything. Do you mean that they can't know if anything else exists? No, simply put, it's that they don't believe they can ever be sure of their own knowledge. Because of the Agrippin dilemma, you get modes of infinity, assumption, and circularity. When people keep asking you to justify your beliefs, or they ask, how do you know this? You have limited responses. The mode of infinity is the useless endeavor to continuously justify yourself. The mode of assumption is you refusing to answer. The mode of circularity is when you repeat what you said and end up back where you started. Oh, I get it now. This is a classical skeptical paradox. And the third are those who undergo a classic existential nihilism. The fourth are for those who are truly invisible, no purpose, direction. The fifth are for those who think that reality itself is a complete farce, and sixth are for those who doubt that they even exist themselves. Incredible, no? That sure is something. You seem to be an inquisitive creature. That seems to amuse them. The questioning will begin now. Use the keywords you have so far to ask Fernweh about them. To do this, simply type in the key word you want to ask them. Or perhaps you can ask about non-keywords too. Be warned, because once you've asked a question about a keyword, that's it. You cannot go back to it. Do you have anything else left to ask me? No? Shit. Can I open this up? Oh, okay, dope. Well, there was one there, but I forgot what it was. Anyway, I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Head on over to the interview if you're interested to hear what the dev has to say about his game. Oh, okay. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're feeling nostalgic about an indie game... What's going on here? Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Oh, I can go back! Yes. Interesting. Excellent. That's so dope. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're an indie dev, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. If you're feeling nostalgic about an indie game, please leave it in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you'll come watch the next one. Take care.